Okay, today I am going to be starting on my bird identification. I'll be talking about the S's of bird, the first one being size. I've now got birds coming, so hopefully they'll continue and I won't get completely distracted by them. I have a chickadee over there now. I did have a nuthatch. I hope it comes back. And I'm sure this isn't going to come as a surprise to anybody, but birds are not all the same size. Some birds are big, some birds are little, you have birds in between. And they don't have anything on them that's telling you how big they are. It's not written on their body, they don't carry a ruler, and I don't really think you want to spend your time putting rulers where you're going to be looking at birds to try to figure out how big they are. Because they don't line up with them right, it's not going to help you much. Well, it can be easy in some instances. For instance, I don't think, at least I'd hope, that nobody's going to confuse a hummingbird with an eagle. Big difference in size there. But if you have a downy woodpecker and a hairy woodpecker, both in the area, and you're not familiar with them, they look almost identical, and that can be confusing. However, the hairy is about 3 inches bigger than the downy, and it does have a longer beak. So one thing that you can start with is birds that you're familiar with. And when you're trying to identify a bird, compare it to the ones you know. Is it to say the size of a robin? Is it the size of a sparrow? The size of a crow? Is it a bigger bird, like the size of a larger hawk? And that can give you a clue as to the size of the bird. And its overall size is just one thing you want to look at. There are also other things to check for the size. Other things you can check on: the legs. Does it have long legs like a great blue heron, or really short like a penguin? Not that I'm really expecting you to have a penguin in your backyard. How about the neck? Some birds have really long necks, like a great blue heron, and others have really short necks, like an owl. Not that I really think you're going to confuse those two, but you get the idea. And one thing you want to remember too is, depending on how the bird is sitting, you may not be able to see the length of the legs or the length of the neck. I've seen great blues that were all hunkered down, and if I hadn't known it was a great blue, I wouldn't have known it because of how it was sitting. You couldn't see the long legs, you couldn't see the long neck. Another thing to look at is the length of the beak. Now, beak and bill, most people use them interchangeably. Some people use the beak just for, hawk over there, just use the beak for your inland birds, and your bill they use for like your water birds, like ducks. Beautiful hawks. I can't get a good view of them. I can't see what they are anyway. It's another lesson. What about the tail? Some birds have a very short tail, like a starling. Others, like a Cooper hawk, have a long tail. So those are things you can look at. And then the last thing you can look at is, if the bird's in flight, look at how long the wings are. Does it have a fairly long wingspan, like an eagle? Or is it really short? So these are all S's, and all different parts of the sizes that you can look at to help you figure out what your bird is when the sparrows come over. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and have a nice day.